I'm Maja. I guess my official title is Dramaturg of The Winter's Tale. I study philosophy.
Yep.
So not anything drama theatre related. I was asked to come and assume a dramaturgical role and help people with scansion and character and interpretation. So iambic pentameter is what Shakespeare wrote his verse, because most of Shakespeare is written in verse or prose, and the verse is written in a format of 10 beats per line. Right, not all of it is, but I'll get to that. So each line is 10 beats, and it's da dun da dun da dun da dun. So the emphasis falls upon the second beat. So here we go. Since what I am to say must be but that. So it's 10 beats, and the emphasis falls on the second. When you start to understand speaking rhythmically, you actually make the text a lot clearer. And however, there's a lot of direction, because you think there's not a lot of direction in Shakespeare, there's just entrance and exits, but Shakespeare was actually a control freak, and there's a lot of direction written within the text itself. So when a character, for example, someone who always speaks in perfect iambic pentameter, suddenly breaks pentameter, there's a reason. So let's say it's a really short line. Let's say there's literally only 3 words there or something. Generally, that's Shakespeare's direction that you want to be doing something. Or if you're a character that's slowly bleeding to death, like at the beginning of Macbeth, the bloody captain who is bleeding to death, slowly more and more has these massive pauses, and that's obviously Shakespeare's direction for you to bend over and kind of tend to your wounds for a second and try not to die. Or you're doing something, there's a direction that you're supposed to be doing something there or taking a pause or something. Whereas if it's just like one beat too little, it's something, this is very sexist, called a feminine ending, because women are unfinished, which essentially means that the character is hesitant or lying or just not particularly confident about what's saying. There's a myriad of interpretations that it can be. The main thing to focus on essentially is that if your character does speak a specific way and they break it, why are they breaking it? So this is one way to look at it. Or if, for example, there's too many words in a line, it could either be that the final word needs to be 2 emphases on it as opposed to just the second beat, or it could mean that the line is what's called overfull, and so the character's trying to get a lot of information out at once, or they're very suddenly passionate about what they're saying, or there's a whole myriad of doing. So my point is, you as an actor have to decide how the way that you're going to take particular things, but you should understand the basics of it to be able to do that. You need those tools. You need to know the rules before you can break them, because you as an actor have to decide how you're going to take the character, how you're going to interpret the meaning. And if you understand exactly what you're saying is very clearly, you understand what it is, then the audience will understand it too. There's no one right way. There's many interpretations as there are books of complete works. You often hear, I guess, people who call themselves purists, or people who say Shakespeare's so hard to understand. It's you need to speak it really slowly. The problem is, iambic pentameter is actually, and the rhythm is actually quite close to normal speech in terms of rhythm. And if I start talking like this, it's really hard to understand what I'm saying. If I pause all the time and I speak it really slowly, it's really hard to understand what I'm saying. And also, it's really, really boring. Get to the story. Get to the story, because they are great stories. Don't suddenly go, oh God, the language, what do I do? Try to figure out the story, figure out the heart of it, figure out the heart of the character. Don't suddenly get caught up in this. People suddenly can often get overwhelmed with the fact that they're playing someone who's been played a million times before. Yeah, good. I've been here for this is the end of my 4th year, so I'm almost done. I study philosophy, so I study something quite different, but I love my degree. I enjoy Murdoch. It's got a good, and from because I do a minor in literature, and from what I've seen of the literature drama community, they're very supportive, and yeah.